Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in, thanks for watching, and of course, thanks for subscribing. Truly appreciate the support. We've got the latest update, the latest public update, non-FSD beta 2023 26.7. This is a point release from the main release of 2023.26, but it's bringing a bunch of new features that are much needed for the new, refreshed, if you will, Model S and Model X, which presumably would be flagship vehicles, but it's kind of the reverse with Tesla. Tesla's flagship vehicles are the vehicles that sell the most, which are the 3 and Y, so a lot of focus and attention goes on them. And then whatever gets left over in certain instances trickles down, in this instance, to the Model S and Model X, which are some of the features that have been included in Model 3 and Model Y for a few months now, are now making its way to the Model S and Model X, what would typically be called the premium vehicles. Okay, so the first update that we have here is charge on solar. It says charge your Tesla with solar energy. If you have a Powerwall, you can now choose how much charging comes from solar versus other sources. All right, so that's going to be something that you're going to set up from the actual Tesla app. This is not something that we're going to use right now. It's not very useful for us right now. In most cases, we will not charge on our Powerwalls if there's an issue. We'll basically charge elsewhere at superchargers and let the Powerwalls power the house. But if you are someone that's in a place where charging from the Powerwall makes sense, or charging directly off solar makes sense, then this is for you, and this is what you would do. All right, the next thing we do is have a Spotify refresh. It says play your Spotify music playlist, podcasts, and audiobooks with more familiar look and feel. Go to the app launcher. For Spotify, it requires premium connectivity. This is just a revamp to the UI for Spotify. If you take a look here, brings up the more familial look of Spotify that you'll get on your phone app or on the desktop app itself. Nothing really major here changing, but just the UI looks a little bit more familiar and consistent than the UI that you're used to seeing on the apps. All right, the next one is definitely something that's been out for 3 and Y for a while. It should have actually launched with the Model S refresh and then the Model X refresh, and that is the customizable scroll wheel. This one says do more with the left scroll button on the steering wheel. You can now adjust settings like brightness, acceleration mode, or perform actions like toggle the camera, raise suspension, open the glove box, and save dash cam footage. Okay, you'll long press on the scroll wheel to bring up the list of functions, and then you'll be able to scroll through the list of functions to set it for the left scroll wheel. This is something that is super important for Model S and Model X, just for the fact that this is the level of functionality that the Model S and Model X, the legacy versions of the Model S and X, used to always have. There was always the instrument panel here. You could always customize the scroll wheels to control many different things. When they launched the refresh, it was all gone. So now you have the option to long press and be able to choose what you want, as you see here, and then you can choose what you want to have here. Temperature, you have fan speed, you have brightness, you have save dash cam footage, you can change your acceleration mode, which is kind of cool, raise suspension up and down, and then you also use the steering, heated steering wheel, cameras, defrost, dome lights, glove box, etc. So this is really something that's important for the Model S and X. Just again, if you already had one and you come into this new one, you don't have those features, you know, this is definitely something that that takes into consideration that legacy experience. So if you're net new and you've never had a Tesla at all, then it's not that big of a deal. But if you're coming from an old one, you're upgrading, you're trying to take advantage of that FSD transfer that they have right now, then this is something that's going to be really clutch. So good job on Tesla for adding that one. The other one is something I've been asking for a while, and that's the blind spot camera. The blind spot camera was something that Tesla sort of added. It was sort of an ad hoc feature. It wasn't something that they planned on. It's something that they decided to leverage because they have no real blind spot system in place. Nothing on the mirrors to indicate someone's in the blind spot. No display on the instrument panel here to show you anything about the blind spot. So that the great engineers at Tesla were able to leverage the autopilot cameras to be able to show you on the screen what's going on in your blind spot, giving you some extra visibility in case your mirrors are not set properly, while also conducting the autopilot functionality. So it has a dual purpose. Now this is really great because once they put it there, they put it in the worst place possible. They put it right down at the bottom, which is not ideal, because now you have to look out your mirror, then look down, then look back, or look over that way, and then look down here, and it just becomes a real problem. Ideally, it should be up here in your purview. Best case scenario, if it's the Model S or X, it should actually be in this instrument panel somewhere just to make it even easier. But like I said, Model X and S are not priority vehicles for Tesla. So they don't even bother. So they put it in some place that's going to be consistent for all their vehicles, which is on this touch screen right here. And now you have the ability to go ahead and drag into different places. So right now, if I turn the signal on, pops up right here. This is exactly where I like to have it, just because it allows me to be able to see it as I'm looking straight ahead and not take my eyes too far off the road. You can also put it here in the middle, which takes my eyes a little bit further off the road than it would need to be. But if my blind spot is typically going to be on that side, it might be ideal to have it there. Or you can put it back down at the bottom, which makes no sense at all. So I like to leave it up here, put it right where I need to put it in line of sight. And if I'm looking to the left, I can see it here. If I'm looking to the right, I can see it there, so on and so forth, going this way, and I can put it there. That'd be great. It would be kind of cool if you could actually move each one. So you could say, hey, for the right turn signal, I want it to be here. So when I'm looking to the right, I have this closer to where my mirror is. And for the left turn signal, put it here. So when I'm looking to the left, it's closer here. That's maybe something for a future update for Tesla that Tesla can add. But I'm glad they brought it to the Model S and X now, finally. Good job on that one. Next one is automatic headlights. Your lights turn on automatically when windshield wipers are active, and headlights are set to auto in the controls with the lights and the headlights. This is something that, again, I think Model 3 and Model Y had for a while. It just automatically turns your headlights on when your windshield wipers on. It assumes that if your wipers come on automatically, it's raining and it might be dark, and you might need to have headlights. So that's a good safety feature there. The next thing is destination closing soon. This is actually really good. If you're navigating somewhere, Tesla is still by far, in my opinion, the best in-car navigation system. Not necessarily leveraging Google, Android Auto, or Apple CarPlay, but just the in-car built-in navigation. It still is leaps and bounds above the rest, and this just makes it even better. Okay, so this just allows you to be able to travel somewhere, and if the destination is going to close soon, they'll give you an indicator to tell you that this destination is going to close soon, so you can make a decision whether you want to keep going, whether you want to stop, so on and so forth. So this is really good, leveraging the features that Google is making available in their maps and their APIs, and then pulling it into the car here. So that's great. All right, they also added a couple games, one game actually, Vampire Survivors. Everybody played that. And then also camera view on the Tesla app. I'll show you that in just a minute. This one actually puts it in a much more useful way, where it actually shows you a grid view that shows all the cameras simultaneously in a grid like that. I would love for them to be able to show that on the screen, but I'll take it in the app for now, because when you check on your car, first and foremost, depending on where you are, it's probably going to take a long time for the cameras to load. And then when they load, it's going to load whatever the first camera is, which is typically the front camera. And then if you want to go to the next camera, it's going to load that camera, and it take as much time as it's going to take. This one loads all the cameras all at once. So if it's going to take a long time to load and it finally loads, it's actually loading all the cameras at once, so you can see everything that's going on around your car. Okay, so that's pretty cool. All right, the last update here is the warmer colors. Obviously, people who are sensitive to certain spectrums of light, and especially at nighttime, they want to be able to change the color temperature. This allows you to display warmer colors. You can go here to go to controls, display, and you can click the button for reduce blue light, and that's going to change that. You're not going to be able to pick that up on camera, but it automatically adjusts to warmer at night. So when you have your nighttime display comes on, it's not as harsh of a blue light. It keeps it a little bit warmer, so that's pretty good as well. And then other updates, some small updates. This is kind of cool because they kind of roll up the additional updates. Usually if there were other updates, they would just ignore them all completely. But now for the non-primary updates, they're going to bundle them into this other updates tab, which is also great. All right, so this one's recents and favorites are now separate tabs in the media player. The slider to adjust volume, temperature, and charge limit are now more precise. Sentry mode records if someone tries to open a door or trunk when the vehicle is locked, which is great. Access the owner's manual and release notes more quickly with the new manual app. I believe that's this one right here. You can get to it through your menu here, and then there's a manual app. You just click there. So now you can look at the manual and the release notes. I already have it open, I believe, so I don't need to do anything. But it just says manual and release notes, and it puts them all together. So if you want to just see the release notes, you can look at the release notes. If you want to then see the manual, you can go there as well, and that's great. What I did notice is that the voice command, at least right now, maybe it's me, maybe it's the connectivity, the voice command for release notes is not working. So if I click, say, release notes, it doesn't come up. I'll try it again. Show release notes. And as you see, it's not quite working. Open manual. So open manual works, brings the manual up. And this is actually the wrong manual. So yeah, Tesla, work on that. This is not a Model S. This is a Model X. Looks sweet. It's not black, but it looks sweet. This is a Model X. So yeah, not quite the right one. But yeah, I think they're getting there. And it's better organized as well. The manual is. It's not as wild and like, it looked like they just took a bad browser version, and just put it in a little modal here. I'm glad that they're able to now make it more updated, more modern in this particular one. So that's great. Would love for them to make this full screen. I mean, Tesla, come on. I know Model S and Model X are not the premier vehicles that they should be in your eyes, but let's get full screen here. We got so much real estate that we could be using, and we're just not taking advantage of it. Okay. Last one is the automatic navigation, shows more detail about your destination. And then the Swiss French keyboard is available for those who speak that language, which is great. All right, so I don't know. I'm just going to choose this diner here. Let me see what happens if I try to navigate here. So obviously you click here, you see the details, you see the pictures, you can see the reviews, you navigate to it. And it's going to bring you to this particular navigation route. It's going to show you the round trip. It's going to show you how much you'll have at the end of the destination. And that's pretty much it. Nothing really major to report here in terms of navigation, but apparently Tesla says automatic navigation shows more details about your destination. All right. So that's pretty much it in terms of this set of release notes, this particular build, this particular version, 2023 26.7 or the 2023.26.x, whatever version you got. But this is what it is. It's got the latest features and functionality. Glad they have the blind spot monitor. Glad they have the multi-functionality here on the steering wheel or the steering yoke. And I'm glad that they also have more features to just keep the car safe, make the car better over time. Let me know your thoughts on this release if you got it. If you had it for Model 3 and Model Y, let me know what you think about it. Also, if you found anything else, any other undocumented features that we don't know about, go ahead and leave them in the comments so other people can share in your knowledge and share in their understanding of what this release has to bring. Okay? Until the next time, enjoy your day, enjoy your Tesla.